for the pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to have a moment of silence for Elmer Becker, who was a trustee for a number of years. And we'll stand up for that. And who died in a farming accident last month. Okay, thank you. Okay, first order of business would be approval of the board meeting minutes from October 5th.
I move that we approve the board minutes for October 5th, from October 5th.
Okay, any discussion?
Mike Mack,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Mike School,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Paul. Yes.
Next item is approval of special board meeting minutes dated October 22nd, 2015.
Make a motion to approve minutes for October 22nd, 2015.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? No?
Paul,
Yes.
Mike Mack,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Mike School,
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll open up for public commentary. George? No? Katie? No? Teresa? No? Okay, we'll close public commentary then. Okay, reports. Road Commissioner.
In my road report, I'll go over a little bit. We did get our 88 Mack back from the frame shop. It took about a month, a little over a month, for them to put four new frame rails on. Done a decent job. I think the bill came in $2,500 bucks, or it was a little under what they estimated, because we took the box off, so we didn't have to drag that down here. So, putting the box on now, and probably tomorrow, if it's raining, we'll be back on the truck. Corning Road project, fast fiasco, or whatever you want to call it. We're planning on getting it all done this year with Township. Well, we hit from about Stats driveway to the east to the bridge. We hauled probably over 300 loads of black dirt out of the middle of the road. It was 1.5 feet deep, and it was a black dirt in Washington Township. Must have blown there many years ago and covered it up with 4 inches of stone. And then they tarred chips, so. That's why the road didn't hold. Talked to a couple different engineers and talked to the county. I said, if you don't get the black dirt out, you can put 2 foot of stone on there. It's gonna come back and haunt you, so. And once you get anything over a foot of stone, you can't leave it settle over winter to get it to tighten up. But today we've done all the dirt work is done. Hopefully next week, if it's nice one more day, I'm gonna plant grass. And we have another 2 inches of stone to go on it after that's all done. So they should be ready for the winter. Patching's going on, that's continuous. We'll start cutting roadsides. I know some people were getting a few phone calls and questions on that. We're not any later than, I think last year we started right at Thanksgiving, but we have to wait for the farmers to get out of the fields. And finishing up this week should be, there's not much left in the township anymore. But, so end of next week, we'll probably be starting to mow roadsides. And that'll be from fence line to fence line, so everything will be mowed up. We're on with 2 tractors. We're working with Will Township, and they're bringing their big tractor more than ours. And so it should take about 7 days, is what he usually does with the 2 more. We finished A1 seal coating on our roads this year, non-eventful. And once everything else is done, we're going to start on ditch work. Any questions?
What'd you do with the black dirt that you took?
Used it most on the shoulders.
Of that same road?
Yeah, it grows, and the ironic thing, we put it on the shoulders, and within 2 weeks, we had buttonweeds and cottonbirds grow. So them are some old seeds.
Did you ever consider using fabric below?
Very costly. Even to seal that, we talked about, bridging some of the stuff, and a foot of stone, and if you would go with 4 inches of asphalt on the top, it might work. But with seal coating, it has too much flax. But the spot that everyone talked about, that drain year-round, and stuff, and that was caused by all the black dirt under there. That's where it came to really the end, and that's where it was seeping out. So that all the black dirt was holding all the water. It would seep out the bottom of the hill. Kind of interesting, really. And the research shows what they've done years ago is when they made roads, and that road was probably made 1870s, 80s, or 1880s, I should say. What they've done is they took the ditches and flipped them into the road, banked the ditches, and then they went over the top of that.
And whatever was in a ditch ended up under the road?
Yep. We have another road, Eagle Lake Road was like that, but that one only had about 4 or 5 inches. This was the worst one we've seen with that much. And then, like I say, the west side, there was one spot by the first house, there was a little bit, but the rest of that was the hardest clay. So, when you take a foot out and half out, it takes a lot of rock and fill that back up.
Oh, yeah. Any other questions? No? Assessor? No report?
No.
Clerk?
No, nothing.
You want to talk about the senior records?
I would be with
Well, you can. I got enough stuff.
You got enough to talk about?
Okay.
Senior breakfast was on October 24th. 110 people attended. We had food and everything from Scarametti's again. It was a big hit. Mike discussed transportation with the seniors. There was just a couple of questions. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it went well. And our next event, I might as well bring that up, our next event at the Ambit Hall will be the holiday dinner on December the 8th, I believe it is. This is Tuesday. I think that's the right date.
Yes. 8.
That's all.
And I will try to get the, I haven't talked to them yet, the choir
Okay.
in high school to perform. Planning Commission?
Yeah, they attempted to have a meeting, but they didn't have a code for the alarm.
What?
Yeah,
I thought I gave them one.
I talked to Dale today, he said he still hasn't
Yes.
had it. One of the individuals went to night shift, so I'm gonna have to probably replace him, because he'll never be able to make a meeting again. And then we have one of the old individuals that just still never shows up. So I don't know how we deal with that, do we approach it?
Well, we're allowed to have up to 5. We don't have to have 5.
Okay,
As long as it, you can still have to have a majority,
right.
regardless of what the number of commissioners are, so.
Well, I didn't know if we wanted to see if we could replace him, or, I don't.
The person that's going on the night shift?
No, well, the person going on the night shift, I already talked to him, I said, I'm probably gonna replace you. And he said, that's no problem. So I'm waiting
Okay.
for his letter of resignation. But the other person just doesn't show up.
Okay.
Doesn't respond to emails, doesn't.
Well, that, I would,
So I don't know what the procedure is on that.
oh, I don't think there's a procedure. You should ask him if he still wants to remain a
Okay,
commissioner, and he says no, then
okay. And if he says yes and doesn't show up,
Well,
I don't know. Hold his
Yeah.
pay, okay, I'll do that.
okay.
And that's it?
So, we have to get Dale a code. Does he have a key? I gave him a key.
He's got a key.
I couldn't come any farther though,
No.
right? I think we have, I know we have some codes, like extra
We have the
codes.
general code that we give to people if they use it for a meeting.
Okay,
We have that one we could give them if you want.
yeah.
That will work.
You have his email, right?
Yep.
If you could get that code from Teresa and then
Sure.
email it to him?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Supervisor's report. Let's see. I'll start with the phones. The phones kept on getting pushed around, but apparently November 9th is when the phones are going to be installed, the new phone system, November 9th. And there's also going to be training on the phones, and that's also, I guess, when they're going to do the switch on the phone numbers and
They're
recording and
supposed to
stuff.
do everything.
So, and that goes from 9 to, that's just a time period, right?
Just until they finish, I basically
Okay.
is what.
So the phones are here, they just have to, somebody's got to come by and put them in. So then after, well then they'll have all the paperwork again to, so that our monthly bill is gonna go from $350 or $56 down to $151, I think. Which would be nice.
Now, do we have to have the alarm company out here when they're doing the phones? I know last time when Comcast came out, we did, and then they set everything off.
Just call
I,
them.
we could talk to them again, but I believe that the security system
remote.
is on
A
a
remote
whole,
in.
yeah, it's on a whole different thing,
Okay,
so it should be fine.
okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, so about this time last year, I had somebody from the home pages ask us about an ad for Washington Township. So now the ad last year had dial-a-ride on it and the phone number and all that kind of stuff. So I have a reserved spot in the phone book for Washington Township. I don't know if I should say dial-a-ride or not. And it is, the cost is, it's on here somewhere, it's $425, which is the same cost as last year. And it is for a 5x2 ad, 5 inches wide, 2 inches tall. So, we don't, it certainly does not have to say dial-a-ride. It could say Washington Township, give the phone number, and list some services on there or something like that. I know that we did it last year, we put dial-a-ride on there because we were continuing the dial-a-ride, and we wanted to make sure that it was advertised. So I don't know how many, they wanted to sell me an ad in there for my business, and I had it in that phone book last year, and Lowell, St. John, and Cherville. 0 calls from those yellow pages, or those from the home pages. I don't know, nobody really uses those anymore. But,
I used to advertise in there all the time too, in the past 2 years, I haven't, because whenever I'm looking for a phone number,
yeah, right.
I can't tell you last time I picked up a homepage book or a phone book, just don't do it anymore.
Right, I don't even know where mine is from last year, so, my book. So I did reserve it, because they're not going to print until December, middle of December. I want to say the 13th or the 15th, something like that. So, we have any thoughts on this?
If you search for Washington Township, what do you get? You know that?
No.
Online, you get all kinds of stuff. Website.
There's other Washington Townships besides Illinois.
That's probably,
Yeah.
I just mean, well,
In Washington, Illinois, you get 2. There's one in Peoria and there's one here. But I think we're number 1 usually when it comes up.
A lot of people put Washington Township feature in and it pops right up.
Yeah.
I've tried that too.
I don't know if we budgeted this for this last year or not. I don't recall it as a separate line item. I don't think we did.
Wasn't it part of
I
transportation?
think it was.
We could have. You mean for this past year? Oh, it could be. So, I don't know.
Does it depend on what we do with transportation?
I mean, the fall newsletter comes out. I mean, I keep that longer than I keep the phone book. And it's got all our phone numbers in there. And everybody gets that free of charge. You know, basically free of charge. Well, same with the phone book, but it doesn't, it costs us how much does it cost for the newsletter to go out?
About
Something?
about $2,300 for the postage.
So this is like redundant then.
Printing was 2,000, and postage was 500. So 2,500 bucks.
Right. And then
We can add
having
that.
this again, huh?
Get ads back, they'll get money back for the ads.
In the newsletter.
We have to get that. I don't know what that number is.
Or it's probably really not necessary.
Just for Washington Town, I just put in a phone book, it comes, our website first, mobile friendly, services, clerks, I mean, it's right on the phone, top listing. And all I just put is Washington Township in.
Okay.
And dial rights down there too.
My inclination is to not own this book. It keeps going up. I mean, they held the price. I don't know what the actual price is now, but it has gone up a lot since that book has come out. Right? Paul? I mean, I was in it the first time it came out, and
They kept raising
It's
price,
at
and
least
I wasn't
double
getting
or
anything
triple,
out of it.
yeah.
I
Well, it used to be the best book in town. I mean,
Yeah.
people, I mean, Patty said at work, you couldn't keep enough of them. And now, she says, we throw them away.
decided- You get more people from out of town advertising in it than you do from in town.
right.
You get Lowell, you get St. John, you get,
Yeah.
you know, it's almost like going around your Yellow pages
Yeah.
again. So that's why I stopped doing it.
So, nix it?
I recommend that, yes.
Okay. It's easy. Also, the Village of Beecher is, and I don't know, Paul, if you have any input on that, but the Village of Beecher is considering, and I think they're gonna go through with an ESDA, Emergency Service, something. And they want the fire department, the village, and the township to go in on this. Now, the fire department said that they do not have jurisdiction in the town, for the township. as far
Police
as-
department. That's the police department.
Police department, the fire department does.
Fire department said the same thing though.
Okay.
So we would have to supply our own, not our equipment, but we would have to have volunteers, I guess.
The village, the fire department is saying they don't have jurisdiction in our township.
For emergency services.
For emergency services, that's if when the tornado or something like that, even Beechers as a department would not have jurisdiction. Even if they start one, they will not have jurisdiction over Washington Township, because Will County EMA takes over. They have the trump card.
Okay.
Will County EMA has trump card over all police, all fire, all their top dog in a national emergency.
Disaster.
If it's anything else, they have no authority. But just a natural disaster, they take charge.
So the village has acquired a lot of equipment through the years. And I don't know where they're storing it, probably in the Public Works garage, but they have a lot of equipment. They felt that it would cost each entity between $1,000, and they're not 100% sure, but between $1,000 and $2,000 to be put into this pot. And I said, well, what do you do with $1,000? What do you do with that? Well, I guess the volunteers like to have uniforms. And whatever else, badges. I don't know exactly what that money, and they don't, and that's just a number grabbed out of the air. So, for whatever reason, Paul, they said that your name was on a list.
Yeah, I told them I'd help them out with it. Basically, it's for emergencies, like a perfect example, when Mr. Becker was lost. going out there helping and stuff like that. If there was heavy traffic, directing some traffic. If there was a bad snowstorm, somebody had to be responsible coming here and opening up the building here. If there were stranded people, they'd be able to sleep in here.
Right.
Basically, that's kind of what's for.
Right, I understand what it was for. They're looking for volunteer, it's completely volunteer.
Correct.
So, I don't know.
I told them I would volunteer.
Oh, okay, all right, I didn't want to really
Yeah.
put you at a spot.
No, I talked to Brian Klaus about it. I actually talked to Greg Szymanski about it this morning a little bit.
Okay.
And I told him I would definitely volunteer for that. Being I'm out there.
But we would have to kind of like enter into some sort of agreement or and I don't know when this is gonna start either.
He was looking at $1,000. He never mentioned anything more than
Well, Bob was going back and forth. He said 1,000, then he said 2,000 to me, and then he said no more than 1,000. So I don't know.
Greg told me this morning, no more than 1,000 per,
Okay.
township, town, and fire.
Each.
Each. 1,000. So he had a total of 3,000.
Is that per year?
We don't. I don't even know if they know that yet. I mean, they have not met yet.
Okay.
So.
And they do acquire a lot of equipment too that they get for free, and they have to hold it for 1 year, and they can sell it. And with the money they're gonna get from selling the equipment, they're gonna use that money to keep it going, is their plan. Now they got a couple Humvees that they
Right.
got that.
From the military, yes.
Yes, and they'll be able to sell those, and whatever they get for that, they're gonna start funding this program with it. I think it's a good idea.
So, but we don't know when they're gonna organize or have a
They're
meeting.
still discussing it themselves.
Right, right, and the village hasn't even had it in one of their meetings yet. It
I
just,
believe they had a meeting on it last week, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, they did? Oh,
I
okay,
believe so.
all right.
Who provides services now?
But we don't have any.
Will County.
Will County.
Yes. They could take so long for Will County to come out,
That's
you know. That way, if you had this program and set people who, like myself, I live in a village, I work in the village, I can easily get there and help out right away, waiting for somebody else to come up.
And Will County works with, see, every village has to have, I think it's mandated by law, they have to have an as a coordinator or something with that. And they could work closely with Will County. I mean, it's like the fire departments, it's all mutual aid, auto aid, stuff like that. If Beecher had a mass disaster in town, Will County would come up and assist them.
And the village does have it now.
Right.
It is-
They have a director, yeah,
Yeah,
and there's a director.
I think Bob is
Bob is
Yeah.
not here.
correct.
Used to be Emerson, used to be Glen Dean.
What's this called?
As an emergency services disaster, something, right?
Crete is huge. Theirs is,
They come in handy for car accidents.
yeah,
Directing
Creed's
traffic
very
off
big
the
into
side
it.
roads.
they've got vehicles, trailers, I mean, they're
Like plants.
they're pretty set up in that.
You say a plane?
Plants.
Oh,
Like
oh.
plants.
So
I just think for such a small dollar amount, I think it's worth having. It's not just costing us a lot of money, it's,
okay.
it's,
Well, we're not gonna vote on this or anything today.
What are we getting for the money?
When you're lost in the cornfield,
Yeah.
They'll come looking.
somebody will find you.
If they don't pay the money, they're not gonna come look for them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends how you vote.
So like I said, there's no reason to vote on, I mean, we're not gonna vote on this because it hasn't even been organized completely yet, but I just wanted to bring it up, that it is in the works. I think the village will.
You currently have the fire department though, don't Mike, so, I mean, you're paying taxes for the fire department.
Fire department says they don't have jurisdiction on this.
They do wherever they have the fire protection district.
And that's not what,
You might want to check into that. And then as far as the county actually has the administration over the entire area. Now, you can actually provide your own search training, et cetera, here. And then you should have took the NIMS already, basically, in order for you to be able to administer in case of a catastrophe. Now, you have one of the very rare buildings in the area because you have a generator outside.
Right.
So the community building doesn't, I think the village has a mobile one, or
They
do
have a
they
mobile
install
one,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, correct. And then the fire department, I believe, has one. So you're one of the only emergency centers here. And this was set up too. Then the other thing that you want to consider is also the post office at that time. And this was set up originally a few years back for that. We actually coordinated with the
Post office.
post office. Because in time of catastrophe, you want enable people to resume their normal lives as fast as possible, and therefore the post office. But you might give the county a call, and if you need assistance on that, I'll help you, but you're going to find out that you're actually covered in a large area here. So.
Right, but I think they're thinking more quicker locally,
Quicker response time.
quicker response time because it
Joe,
would be
that's a
local.
long way away from all the equipment. Some of it's in New Lennox, obviously.
Right, where the
There's not
village
much
has the
coverage.
equipment right over here, so.
Well, keep in mind though, in an event of a catastrophe, that basically, like, if a tornado would go through the village of Beecher, you're going to lose that. So you're gonna need an outside entity inside of here. That's the thing. So the site of your catastrophe. And then the other problem that you have in the village of Beecher is your elementary school is at the lowest point geographically in the village. So if you have a train accident or anything like that, because we're currently working on that right now with Washington, if you have a train accident where there's chlorine spill or something like that, your first responders, that actually live around here are going to be actually occupied with a whole lot of things going on. And then once you check in with the fire department, you can find out the first responders won't go in immediately, that they should stay out, assess the damage, and then go in. So it's.
I know the school has a disaster evacuation plan already in place to get kids out of the schools, so we'll wait till they start meeting up, see what they say, but I just said I'd bring that up. Okay, that's the end of the supervisor's report. Trustees, anybody want additional reports?
I can give you a little update on the food pantry. Last month, we had 27 families for the month show up. Getting ready for the holidays. Seems like it usually gets a little busier around the holiday season, so just kind of clearing out my shelves and getting ready for, we started getting a lot of donations around the holidays too, which is always nice. So, but I'm just getting ready for the holidays.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. Transportation. Tuesday, myself and Teresa met with at Crete, with Will Ride and Crete Township to just kind of start initial conversations with them. They had Nick Palmer and Wendy Garlich were there. The township board, I think everybody from the board was there. No, there was
No.
one or two missing?
There
One
was,
missing? One,
there
two.
were
There was
two
two people,
trustees
yeah, two missing.
and Mr. Moon.
And then myself and Teresa. Teresa and myself had a number of questions. We got some answers. We didn't get every answers because they didn't have all the answers, which I understand, because they won't know answers until things get a little bit farther along. But I'll just kind of list some of the questions that we had, and then with their answers. And one of the questions that I had was how many buses would be kind of designated for Washington Township, and they couldn't give us an answer because that would be up to PACE, and apparently Wendy says you can't really get a straight answer from PACE all the time. We currently have or use 3 buses on a weekly basis to go out, but whether or not we're going to get 3 buses to service this area is a big question mark, because they don't really know. Like I said, it's up to PACE. The buses would originate, as they do right now for Will Ride, from Alsip, or South Cook they call it, but it's Alsip. So it wouldn't be up from here, it wouldn't be from Moni, it would actually be from Alsip, and everything would be directed from Alsip to wherever they got to go in this area. Let's see. So the way that the registration goes, our seniors would get registered here, so that we know who would be riding, so that we can verify who's riding. So they register here. There's a form that they fill out, then we would have to send the forms in, and then they put, I guess Wendy puts it into their program, but that way we know who's riding and who's supposed to be riding and who's not supposed to be riding. So they register here first. Everything is scheduled through PACE and not through Will Ride. So there must be a phone number or something that goes directly to PACE, and then they schedule all the rides. Will Ride is kind of like the middleman. I guess they do the accounting, or the accounting. How everything is divvied out. So they do that part. PACE does the scheduling and the transportation portion of it. There was a question that we had. So the service area. So according to the inner township agreements for the townships that are already with Will Ride, they said 10 miles from their borders is how far they would go outside of their borders. So the more townships you add to that link, to that chain, you get another 10 miles past that. So since we're the farthest east in Will County, now the border, instead of stopping at, now it goes from state line, it'll go 10 miles east into Indiana, and also go 10 miles south into Kankakee County. Now, so then, if you're in Beecher, you could go, as long as everything is kind of connected together, you can keep going west, as long as all the townships are kind of like touching each other. You can go another 10 miles past that is the idea. We asked about Silver Cross because we have a number of individuals who ride our system that goes to Silver Cross Hospital, and they said that as right now their system has no one that goes to Silver Cross, but I guess they can go then, right?
Yeah, the way she talked that, the way their 10-mile thing goes,
Right.
it should be included.
Oh, right. So, I mean, whether or not, now, Maryville, which we have some people that go for dialysis to Maryville dialysis, that's, I think, more than 10 miles from here. They said they would work it out, so I don't know how that would
What is
work
that?
out.
Work it out.
They said they would work it out. We asked Mike LaCar. I don't know. He kind of likes to run the show a lot. He was trying to solve all Will Ride's financial problems or issues or by himself, which I don't know why he was doing that. But did you get that kind of feeling?
Yeah, and he wanted to make changes.
He wanted to change everything and rewrite it, and I don't know why. One of his points is that the area on aging money that was awarded to Will Ride, which was $139,000, but since it's now a greater proportion of people, that money would actually not go as far because there's more people than it would be if it stayed in Crete in Washington Township, because there's less people here. And what Wendy was saying is that, well, they wouldn't spend all the money. You can't have federal grant money and another federal grant used at the same time. You have to use one or the other, and you can't. And she had a way of saying she wasn't going to use. They weren't going to use like all the RTA money and then whatever's left over use the AOA money, or use all the AOA money first and then whatever's left over. They kind of like spread it out. He kept on making that point though that the AOA money would not go as far with more people on the service. I don't know how that works out. The New Freedom trips. I guess New Freedom money is no longer available, but it got replaced from some other government entity. It had a number to it.
5310.
5310, whatever that means. That is now replaced the New Freedom monies. So, and I think Teresa had couple other questions. I don't know if I answered all the, or stated all the questions that we initially had. So, we wanted to know how much it was gonna cost per ride. And Wendy had a lot of paperwork that were from the months previous, you know, that June, July, August of a couple townships. And she said, well, this is what the costs are, and there's a lot of, there's operating costs, and then you have to pay for the call center and liquidated damages, it was a credit and things like that. So she said, well, it would be close to this and close to that, so, and then it's 50%, there's an RTA match of 50%. So if their ride costs $40, if a per ride was $40, based on the 50% matching funds, then the ride is really only $20 to the township. So I went through and I looked, because it just so happens that for this month, or for this last month, Washington Township had 196 riders. There was a total of 606 riders with the 5 townships that we do, and we had 196 of that. In in June of 2015, Monee Township had 195 riders. So almost exactly the same as what we currently have. So the cost per trip for Monee was $39.14 for 195 rides, and that's with all their estimating costs and all that. And then with the 50% RTA match, it ends up being that Monee spent in June $19.57. So their total for that month of June that was invoiced to them, or that they needed to remit to Will Ride, was $3,466.49. If we say that every month we're going to have 196 riders for the next year, I'm just assuming that all these numbers would come out the same. At $19.57, it would cost us just over $46,000 to be in Will Ride, if the numbers stay the same.
Entire year.
For 12 months, yes.
Will's Ride restricted in Monee Township?
Yes, they have a budget, and then once Wendy says she figures out how their budget would be dispersed throughout the 12 months, and that's how many rides per week or per month that are allotted for Monee Township. They do not drive anyone that's under 60 years unless they're disabled. But they also said that caregiver was also charged as free.
It's free, just like
Right,
us.
caregiver is free. Did you have any other questions that I didn't do?
The townships are the ones that make the decision if they limit
Right.
anybody's rides.
Right. So we would have decision on how we want to do it, how much money we want to spend or not spend, and how many times, whatever. It's our decision. It's not theirs.
But then who, does Wendy have the decision, or when you get into that number down?
They call us. She said that she would call the township and say, hey, you're getting close to your allotment for the month or whatever. What do you want to do?
But I mean, you use the person that uses it 4 times a week or 3 times a week versus.
It's taking it away from somebody.
Yes, going down.
I know.
I mean, that would be my first question as a taxpayer. Well, my grandmother's going to use it, and she has an appointment on the 30th of June.
Yeah.
And, well, no, I'm sorry, you can't do it, and that was the only ride my grandmother was going to do. I mean.
I suppose we could get as specific as saying individual A can only ride it 3 times and individual B can only ride it 4 times or something. I suppose we could. Whether that's fair,
Like exceptions that you can make are like subscription rides, which would be like dialysis rides.
Mhm.
There wouldn't be we wouldn't want to restrict.
So we would say if you're on dialysis, you could ride as many times as you have to ride. Yeah.
I mean, you could make your restrictions, you could only go, say, shopping once a week. You know, that's a restriction, the way she talked that you could put on.
And we
If you
still
wanted
don't
to.
know out of the 195, how many seniors. You're basing it off of. that
Total
one
rides.
month. Yeah,
Yes.
that 1 month, but if we're gonna limit it to 65 and older. then
Yeah, I don't have that right, I don't, Teresa,
Well,
I don't even know
I
if
don't
Teresa has that right.
expect, I don't expect you to, but
Yeah.
it might be less than 195. How many other people are using it?
Oh, wait, is it on here?
It's
No,
on there,
it's
there's, it breaks it down by township.
Yeah, here, area,
Area on aging.
we had
how many
116 area and aging, which is seniors. We had, of the 196, we had 116. The next was the JARC, which
Which
is,
is the job access.
right, job access return something.
Reverse community.
And we had 31 of those people. What's NF?
That's the new freedom that they.
Oh, that's right, they're cutting that out, but they're changing, it's getting funded by something else now, and we had 49 of those, so 116 seniors.
And Will Ride would just do it 60 and older unless you're disabled.
Yes.
So there will not, so our chart riders and all,
Well,
they would not be able to ride Will Ride.
Well, our dark riders are disabled people that we have.
Oh.
That's the ones that we have that are dark riders.
Teresa, did she say she would take it out of the other, but the
Well-
money though, like the jar?
Well,
Because they have our
yeah,
deal
but like
there too.
she, this is where, it, you know, the federal funding, you know, two different federal
Correct.
fundings.
You can't
You can't
commingle
take
them.
from both of them without proving it, but then she never went into exactly how she was gonna, you know, how it would be broken out, how they can, you know, how it would be built out.
Because you could take Rider A, and Rider A could be under the New Freedom,
Well,
or
no,
whatever they call
Well,
it.
yeah.
And Rider B could be under the other area on aging, you stretch out your dollars. And you need to ask though what the actual mileage of those trips, because those 195 trips, they could be different, you know what I'm saying? They might be 60-mile trips versus your trips at 20 miles, so.
you mean for Monique or for us?
Yeah, for you too. I mean, you need to.
Well, yeah, I think our mileage would be more, because we got people going to Maryville,
not very often in Maryville.
Okay,
but
well, I mean,
St.
still,
John is,
or
Where they
Silver
go.
Cross.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't, maybe she had stuff that was given out that was nearly unreadable.
These.
Yeah.
But they have to be very specific on it because that's federal money. They have to be very
I
articulate.
mean, she had
Very
this kind of
transparent.
thing here, I couldn't see this. And I don't know if that mileage is on there or not. I don't know what that is. I think those are the writers.
And there is a quantity of scale too, though, Mike. That if you don't have a side-by-side bus running, if the bus is running to the same area, so you need to ask that too about their destinations. You know, if their bus is running to the same spot you're running to, versus two buses is twice the amount.
Right, and like I said, Wendy couldn't, she said, I had no idea how many buses Pace would designate for out here, whether it's one, and it's not a big, you know, it's not a school bus size, it's a regular van size, or, you know, what we got out here, so if that bus is full, then we would have, I hopefully would get another bus, I mean, out here. I don't know exactly how that would work, you know, if in the morning, on a Monday morning, there's a full bus going out, and then, you know, Monday afternoon, there's more riders that need to go out, whether or not we get another bus. I'm not sure. She was gonna put together, she called her performer, like an example of what our costs are, just kind of assuming some of the numbers that's on that sheet there, to see what our cost would most likely be. But like I said, if we're, you know, around 100 and 200 riders, I think it's gonna end up being $19 a ride. You know, I don't know how else the numbers would change than what's already on there.
Now, you talked with somebody from Monique about this, right, Mike?
Did I talk to somebody from Lindy?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Okay. I'm just curious, since Monique has gotten into it, has the cost gone down, have they gone up?
Well, their ridership, for whatever, wait, that's different. Their rides and it may be because it's the time of year or whatever, but they used to have a lot of riders, but now they're under 200.
The bills that she gave us were for summertime, which always, even when they rode with us, went
They were
down
way
because
down?
of the college
Okay.
students not going.
So for instance, this one here, which is August, Monique had 161 rides. And at 161 rides, it was $34.63, which comes out to $17.31 per ride for them, their cost.
So they have fewer rides, but it costs less money. When they have more riders, it costs more money, $19 per ride.
It did according to this, yes.
Now, is every ride a set fee, you know, it's 17, if I'm going from here to Waltz, or if I'm going from here to,
Yeah.
it's the
Same,
same price?
same.
So if mileage has nothing, no
No.
effect, in it, okay. That's why I was just curious.
And that's a one-way trip, right?
Yes,
So going
Each
back
trip.
home is
same,
an additional cost.
correct, yeah.
Isn't that billed monthly though? It can't be true, Jerry. I mean, it has to be billed monthly.
This is billed monthly, yes.
Correct, but it could vary month to month. I don't-
Oh, yeah, it does vary month to
So
month.
that $17 this month might be $18 the next month.
Right, so in August, it was $17.31 in July of last year. I mean, the costs were more last year for whatever reason, but they were at $25 a ride,
And how many people?
211. But that was last year, their costs were more last year overall.
Teresa, wasn't it prior to Frankfurt though? Once Frankfurt jumped in, then it reduced the cost?
Well, Frankfurt, they didn't start right away, right?
Correct.
And then they were there for a while, and then they dropped out again, but now they're
Correct.
joining part of it back again.
Correct.
So that could be why the previous year was more.
Can I ask you a question, Teresa? What do you mean joining part of it back?
Well, what Frankfurt's doing now is, last year Will Ride did all of Frankfurt's rides. Now, Frankfurt is gonna do their in-township rides themselves. Just their out-of-township
Okay.
is going to go to Will Wright.
Yeah, yeah, if it's feasible, the in-township ones, they'll run the same bus.
Mhm.
But anything, they run like a taxi service, so that's what they run.
Okay, so, Teresa, you got anything else to add on this?
No.
I just wanted to make a report, I wasn't really looking for discussion, but, I just wanted to make a report on it. Okay, so that's transportation. General assistance, there were no cases in the month of October, so there is no report. And that is all the reports. Old business. Consideration and approval of 2015 town levy ordinance.
I sent everybody a copy of the 2015 levy with a zero increase from last year. It's the exact same amount that we levied last year. In fact, the numbers are exactly the same. All I did was change this.
Are you capturing the new growth? Or no? Not even capturing the growth?
But, technically, Bob, so we levied, let's say, $369,000 or
You
something.
levy for dollars, not a percentage.
And we didn't get 365, we got 362. So if we levy 365 this year, we'll probably get 364, 360, you'll capture some of it.
Yeah, so there could be a possibility of an increase.
An increase, but we're not levying more money.
Yeah, we're going through that at the county right now,
Yeah,
so.
so, I don't know, at 1.5%, I don't know why you would bother, but especially depending on services. If you're gonna cut services, if you're anything with services, I don't know how you justify a tax increase. But, doesn't have to be approved today, I just put it out there. If you want to change the numbers, I'll just change the numbers, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
If you hold it steady, you're effectively spending less because the cost of doing things are more, by, let's say, 2% on an average basis, on a nationwide average. Inflation is 2%. If we don't raise anything,
mind, I mean, it's so complicated, you know, if there's any type of assessed evaluation, if the county does any type of reevaluating the quadrennial assessments, things like that, that affects our levy as well. So even if you levy zero, it can still go up based on what happens with the supervisor assessments and what they do out there. I don't know how that formula works. I know our formula works. I don't know how that one works.
But basically, what's happening out there is you can define it, you can actually define a tax increase any way that you like, or a tax, that, because currently, the Forest Reserve District, having voted yesterday, what they're going to do is they're going to actually go after new growth. So basically, because of the depressed valuation of the houses, they're actually just going to collect about the same amount of money. But true, now the Tea Party faction over there, true cutting your taxes is actually assess what you had last year, say that's what we want. But then you're going to have some people pay more and some people pay less. So like Joe said, it is very, very, very complicated, but it's semantics, how they actually explain it. So, but 0% levy or cut your levy, you know, so that's the other thing. That's the other option. There's an argument going right now in the county, and I'm a faction for let's cut the levy. Let's truly spend less.
So we have to have this approved by December, right? In this,
We should have, yeah, if you don't approve it tonight, we need to do it the first meeting in December, otherwise you're going to have a special meeting, because it has to be done by the last Tuesday of December.
okay.
So you can think about it. Jerry, I don't know if Jerry's prepared for his levy tonight or not, if he's done anything with it, but it doesn't have to be done tonight. If that just gave it to you, that's where it's at.
What were the numbers that you came up with, was 1.6?
Like 1.66 or
Yeah, that's what I
1.8,
was-
not much. It's under 2%. Actually, Jerry, I believe I have it.
I think it was 1. I have 680 if I were.
I don't know if I give you yours.
Eight.
I have it on, I don't think I have a copy. I could be talking
Oh.
about ours, because you do your own. Yeah, you can bring it.
No, here's from the next meeting.
Yeah, you can bring it.
So Jerry, you're going for 1.6 instead of 0%?
I don't know yet. No, we're looking at the numbers of, I mean, my true feeling is, I mean, if you're in a spot that you had, in my spot, if all the roads were done and I had money left over, but we're still on a downward decline on roads. We still have people on stone roads. I mean, that's, trying to upgrade them to get, and prices are going outrageous. I mean, oil went up, stone went up,
Quite a bit.
16%. That's, if 80% of the road is, or 90% of the road is stone.
And you're just trying to maintain what you got now.
So that's where we're weighing heavily on that, just checking with the budget, see where we're at. What is left.
So are we going to wait until next meeting to vote on this? Will we have Jerry's too? Or does it matter?
No.
You don't vote on Jerry's, I don't believe.
Well, I know we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
He sets his and that's it.
right.
No, we could vote on this today. And
I got a motion that we accept a levy of 0%.
Mike, would you specify the dollar amount that's on that levy ordinance for me, that motion?
$365,399.00.
So that's 0%, that's not 1.6 then, right, or 1.2, Joe?
That's the same exact amount as it was last year, Bob.
So what's the percentage?
Yeah, it's gonna be, that's a little bit over our exact, you were asking what is exactly over last year's levy?
Yeah.
It's probably less than, I think we got 360.
What's the percentage, 1 point?
If not even, I don't even think it's one. It might be 0.75 or something.
Okay, all right. I can figure it out, so.
So is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? No, there was not.
Mike Mack?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Mike Stillwell?
Yes.
Ted?
Yeah.
I'll need your signatures. There you go. I have 2 copies.
All right, number 2, old business, Washington Township Transportation Service.
That was basically what your report.
Yes, so as everybody, that was at the last meeting, of course, we're going to continue with transportation until the end of the calendar year, so that we can get all the answers that we can possibly get.
Is there another meeting scheduled with
December.
these answers?
Pardon
Oh,
me?
for Willride to come out and give you the answers, or they?
I don't think they're going to come out. I'd probably talk to them or email with them. There is, and I forgot to mention this on my report, that Wendy did email me an agenda for their Will County Paratransit Coordination Council meeting. Anybody can go. It's November 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning at the county boardroom. And on there, as far as their agenda goes, is old business is the Area on Aging Grant Funds Appeal. And then new business is Creek Township and Washington Township. So they're just going to probably report from the meeting that we had on Tuesday.
Are we gonna have any discussions with Green Township in the future on this, or?
Well, I most likely, as of today, there's no more information. I'm hoping that within, by the next week this time, we'll get this performer, this thing, and I can talk to Crete again and see what their feeling is and what's going on. They kind of made a statement that they still feel, even when they were with us, that paying all that much money for servicing maybe 80 people or 100 people did not sound fiscally responsible for that. I'm not saying that's our point of view, but for them, they spent $50,000 last year. They budgeted 65, they spent 50, and for the 80 or to 100 people that they serve.
Okay.
So I still don't know what exactly their feeling is. All right, new business. Consideration and approval of Plan Commission recommendations. There is none. Number 2, consideration and approval of 2015 Road District Levy Ordinance. We don't have anything yet, right, Sherry? Okay, so that's it's going to move to old business next year, or next month. Consideration and approval of joining Willride Transportation. We're going to keep that in. We're going to table that. Okay, payment. Oh, before I would like to, for December's meeting, I'd like to move that, if we could, to the 10th. The 7th is actually the Chamber of Commerce Christmas dinner, Monday the 7th.
Yeah, and the 8th is our holiday dinner, so we wouldn't be able to set up the night before either, so.
Right. So the 10th, which is a Thursday, if that works for everybody, I'd like to move that meeting to the 10th. Or we could do it Wednesday, the 9th.
I'm good with that, I know that.
The 10th is good?
I'm good with that.
Okay, so so December's meeting will be December 10th, Thursday.
I'll make sure everything's published, I'll take a look at it.
All right, so now we'll pay bills.
Before you pay bills, I'd like to mention something. I apologize, I was late. I had a county event tonight. Just Clemmy Road, Jerry, in front of my house there, or can you fix that before the winter comes? Because I talked to Mark about it, because it's loose.
Yeah, I know, he mentioned it to me, we haven't,
Please, I'm just asking that.
Yeah, no.
That way, because we kind of plow our road there, so I don't want to dig into it or nothing, so if you could do that before the weather sets in, appreciate it. I know the weather's gonna start turning pretty soon, so. Thanks, Mark.
I did mention it.
I know you did.
no, he mentioned it to me.
Yeah, I just wanted to catch you, I wanted to catch you in public commentary, but, I know you've got a lot of stuff you're doing, but if you could just spray that stuff on there, whatever you guys do on there, seal it up, because it's starting to leach out of there now, or whatever's going on in there, so.
After Mark mentioned, I went down here and I see.
All right, cool. All right, thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Road and Bridge, okay.
I'd like 66 and 85.
Was that this month? Yeah. Yeah. $62,000. Berlin, down to Rush. So, yeah, I got good movement on it. I could straighten it out, so. Who did Karen?
The guy I can't key that everybody goes to.
Oh, yeah, that's who set my,
Dr. Smith, I think he might have retired by now.
my youngest daughter's legs. Katie, that set your broken leg. Down there. Did good jobs. I see you guys later.
Bye.
Good holiday. You too. Thanks.
The Bank of America one?
Yeah.
No, your credit card?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I had-
There was a lot of, there was, hero places.
Yeah, that was for, when we Township, we have free, all the free labor from the other townships.
Okay, so that's how you grab them?
Yeah.
Alright. It was like $100.
Yeah, the names are on the back.
Business,
Right.
huh?
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, yeah, that's
I
what it
don't
was.
understand that, because they didn't
No, it's
build a
a-
new building,
Can I ask you a question?
right?
You've got for invoices 8230, 8216, and 8204, you've got them listed twice. One's for 11,000 and one's for 3,000, so. It's both for Lang, but you got two separate ones there and there. They're the same invoices, but I would
Well,
think that they would all be combined.
They're questioning.
I turn them in, yeah.
That was, there was a original invoice was for, was the 8204. Then we got that one first, we got that check, and then he revised that invoice to, I don't know, up or down, but there was a revision of that invoice, so they paid the balance plus the other two new invoices that came in March. That's why there's two checks, and that's why.
So it's 14, it was total 14,000.
Yeah, because it's cost me 6,000 or
There was
6,000.
some kind of revision that.
Yeah, there was something, and you told me just,
Yeah,
you know, add them all up and.
Question. Dutch American Foods tax rate. What's that about?
Just what it is, Mark, the board voted in whatever 2003 or 1 to give them a 10-year tax reimbursement of $2,500 a year
Yeah.
for 10 years.
This board did?
Washington Township Board did.
Not us sitting here.
The board did.
and
2001.
the reason we
Well,
are,
year 2000, what, one?
I'd have to look at the bill.
3 years?
That was sort of expansion, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, this is what he did, is expansion.
Yeah, but 10 years. Did I lose some years or what?
It
2001?
wasn't 2001, it was when his last construction project,
yeah,
which was 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there, maybe 11, I don't know.
he
So
came
a
back for a
couple
second.
more years.
Give me a second, I'll tell you exactly. I didn't put it on there? No, I guess not. Well, it's not on there, it's on the bill.
Did we get that other check back from Harding's?
No.
Then if you guys, well, Joe's looking that up on
Oh, wait a minute, we did.
6691 and 6691
We did get it
was
back.
transfers. We
Oh,
initially,
so we must
it's
have
for
been
our
showing. We
Yeah,
voted
got
it out.
Bond or,
He voided it.
Yeah, okay.
principal interest for this
I was gonna say,
building.
they would have caught that one.
Oh,
We
okay.
paid it out of the town account at 62,000 something, but there's a percentage of it that is actually, because this building is split into 3 entities,
Okay,
a
so.
percentage of it is the road highway departments. So this was a transfer of 28,000 back into the town account.
And actually, it was 2010.
You see, I just turned them in, I don't have nothing to do with it.
And it was Comanche Peak. The school district paid off their portion years ago with motor fuel tax, some kind of state money that they had for transportation. So the school district is free and clear, it's just the road district in the township that is paying on it. The school district had their own record. That's a 5-year deal, isn't it? Yeah.
Should be almost to the end of it.
Anything else on Road and Bridge?
I'm good.
So we need a motion to,
I'll make a motion we approve the bills for the road and bridge account for the month as presented for a total of $90,460.38.
I'll second.
discussion?
Ted,
Yes.
Mike Mack,
Yes, sir.
Mike Newell,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Paul.
Yes,
Okay, town account, please. There was one, oh wait, that's not on here, but I just signed it tonight. It was it's a weird for transportation. Green View Farms, they do
Oh.
truck repair or bus repair.
Rocky, he did put new shocks and stuff
Oh,
on it.
he did, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder where he did that.
Can I ask you, how is that tax break determined for Dutch Farms? Jerry's reimbursed them $2,000, we're only giving them
Based on
$700.
percentage of what they pay. Your road district payment is, or bill is much higher. So the board at that time came up with a percentage. We actually, Jerry agreed to it.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah. It was just based on it. I mean, we used to give, guys, there was time back in '01 and '02, everybody up at Prairie Point got a nice hefty, it was like 75% reimbursement in year one, and it went down to 50 to 25 and 15. So, and that was to help those businesses in their first few years, because they put a lot of capital out to build that building and invest in that program, so that's why that was.
Like a Walsville,
That was,
Walsville.
Yeah.
that was a big thing too, is to avoid the TIF. Because the village would TIF it, and we would get nothing. So we figured we give something back, and they said we get something in, we get 50% more in, if they TIF it, we don't get nothing.
The school district is the only entity that has stood their ground and has not offered any kind of reimbursement at all. And I support that. I think that's the right thing to do.
Well, they did it for Dutch American.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was Tom Spluke on?
Because they would not build it, he'd build it elsewhere.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they said no first and they changed it.
Oh, okay. Because I know when Tom was with the board president, they just couldn't justify it, because the school district was constantly looking for funds. That's a different story for another meeting.
Okay, so we're looking at the town account. 10 minutes past Paul's goal of 8 o'clock.
I agree, they should never go more than an hour.
Long food pantry report.
next month I will say
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you won't say a word, will you?
Go ahead, Mark, make a motion to approve it.
Do I have the right figure? I make a
Sorry.
motion, we pay the town account, looks like $90,954.93.
I'll second.
Well, I'm gonna have a discussion real quick. This 4262, that's 62,000? That's what we paid out, but where is the reimbursement part of it? On the road and bridge?
It was an intergovernmental, it was a transfer. He did a transfer.
Yeah, I understand it, but shouldn't this be minus that dollar amount?
The check was written for $60,000, so that's what's reported on this.
Okay, all right, okay.
And he transferred $28,000 from his account into our account. If anything, I could have put a credit, or I could have put a transfer on Jerry's, but I didn't.
Okay, all right, okay.
And I think, did he do that on the 1st of November, or did he do that last week? I don't remember when he did it.
It was last week, I believe. Okay, then
And we got, what, 4 more years on it, 3 more years?
Actually, it's on here. If you look at the road and bridge, you'll see
I
the.
see the transfer, yeah,
The 28,000.
okay, I just would have thought, because,
This just reports the bills, this doesn't report any credits. This is just the bill sheet.
okay,
So that's what happened.
all right. Okay, then that,
And that's how, and we, Mike's, this balances with, his report, which I'm looking for.
any other discussion? Okay,
And those can transfer them first.
Okay. Who's first? Mark,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes,
Mike, Matt,
Yes.
Ted,
Yeah.
Mike, yes.
yes. Okay, senior movie night, November 18th. Long ride. Starring somebody.
Not Tom Hanks,
Not Tom Hanks, anybody but him.
but there'll be one coming up with him.
Yeah?
The new one.
Oh, that's supposed to be a pretty good movie, though. Okay, motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, sleep here.
Yeah.